Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tom Talk Stuff. I'm Gleeman Tom, and today I am super excited to jump right into another Dragon Ball discussion. Recently, I've been rewatching the Dragon Ball Z series, and I'm currently just about to start the fight between Goku and Frieza, and it's been a lot of fun, especially since I'm watching it for the first time in subs. I honestly don't know why it took me so long to watch it in subs. I just think it always ended up getting one of those things that got left behind. Anyways, today's topic is should Bulma reintroduce scouter technology into the world of Dragon Ball? Now, the Frieza saga is the last time we saw the scouters in any real prevalence, and I honestly always thought they were really kind of cool. So it got me thinking what would happen if Bulma brought them to Earth. But of course, they wouldn't be used for the Z Fighters, as they're not something the Z Fighters need. Instead, they would be given to the Earthlings themselves. However, before I talk about the potential uses for these things, I would like to go into a brief history of the Scouters themselves, since they're such an old school Dragon Ball Z tech. So let's just get through this real quick, shall we? Now, Scouters are basically an all source computer, worn on the face, much like Google Glass. However, unlike Google Glass, Scouters were cool. Originally created by the Sufurians, or Tuffles as they were also known, who were also the original occupants of planet Vegeta. So when the Saiyans took the Scouters and met up with the Frieza forces, an engineer in the Frieza army called Gichamu would retool the Scouters for a more concrete battle power and communication purposes, allowing them to be more streamlined and used for purposes on the battlefield. So that's the basics now. But I'm going to give you a few fun facts I found out on Scouters while I was researching these videos, just because I thought they were so interesting. First, earlier modes of the Scouters models. Modes. What was modes? Anyways, earlier models of the Scouters could only read battle power up to 22,000. We can actually see an example of this in Z when Zarbon's Scouter exploded when Vegeta was raising his battle power to fight Kui. Secondly, Toriyama has admitted to having a bit of problems with how the Scouter should actually fit or attach themselves to the head, labeling it as simply an alien technology. Finally, the last fact I'll leave you with before we move on to the point of this video is that the first and last Scouter ratings in the DBZ series, people, not the movies and not Super, was a battle level of 5. The farmer and Trunks himself when confronting the Frieza forces in the Android saga. Alright, I'm sorry if that took a little longer than it should have. Now on to the possible uses of the Scouters for Earthlings. Well, if Bulma makes them, they should obviously go to law enforcement and the military. Think of all the uses. Cops would be able to scan for life forms in emergency situations. If there's holdups, they could know how many hostages there are. You know how often destruction comes to these places. How often one of the Z fighters will fight an enemy, unfortunately, in town, and things are just going crazy. And imagine how easy it would be to find survivors and find everyone in the rubble when all you have to do is scan for life forms. These could come into such great use if put in the proper hands. Admittedly, they would be a danger in the wrong hands, but I think that could be said of like any technology of all. Also, it would be really cool to see the cops see how strong Krillin really is. You know, those times where he just briefly uses his abilities as a martial artist to kick ass? They would see his battle power rise and freak out. The only downside in this is, well, not really a downside for me, as he's one of my least favorite characters, is the population at large would see how poor Mr. Satan's battle rating is compared to everyone else. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Videl and Chi-Chi's power rating would be higher than his. Anyways, I actually planned to be this video to be more than just about Scouters. I was actually wanting to discuss the possibility of Bulma building one of those medical chambers you see in the Frieza saga. You know how Vegeta left, excuse me, after his fight with Goku, and Goku was hospitalized for a month before he got a sensu bean, and Vegeta flew in his ship to planet Frieza 79. Yeah, planet Frieza 79. And he was healed in like a matter of hours and already flying back to planet Namek to get the Dragon Balls. I mean, the time difference it took. And you gotta admit, sensu beans are not in abundance in the Dragon Ball universe. I remember back in Dragon Ball when sensu beans were first introduced, Korin had barrels and barrels of the things. But you know, Yajirobe is constantly eating them and diminishing our supply. I mean, can you imagine if these medical chambers were built and passed around? Oh, you have cancer? Leprosy? No problem. Just a little time in this medical marvel and you'll be healthy as Goku after a banquet. But no. As it turned out, she already made one. Yeah, remember that? It was made such a short appearance in the episode of Super, I almost completely forgot about it. In episode 62, after they returned from the future, Goku gets put in this little healing chamber, but there's no healing splooge in it. There's no real healing thing. He just looks like he's in one of those containers Bulma made up in the Piccolo saga of Dragon Ball that hold the dead bodies before Shenlong can bring them back to life. I mean, come on. It was so disappointing. I wanted a proper medical chamber, and we just didn't get it. Well, that's it. What do you think? Is Bulma holding out on the scientific community at large? Honestly, I don't think she's released the patent for that healing chamber yet, just kind of leaving it around the lab. So leave a comment below on what kind of tech you think should be brought back to Dragon Ball. Or hell, what kind of anything. Personally, I miss Kintoun, or, Nimbus, and Nioibo, the power pole. I want to see that again. Why don't you just give the power pole to Goten or something? I want to see that thing again. That was awesome. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want more content like this, trust me, it's coming. I have a lot of ideas. So take care. I'll catch you again.